So, your company's all in on AI, right? Well, chances are you're staring down a huge problem, and you might not even have a name for it yet. We've all raced past the days of simple AI pilots, and we're now in the world of full-blown AI operations. But in making that jump, we've created a brand new challenge, one that's often invisible: the control problem.
And just look at the adoption rate. It is absolutely staggering. 57% of companies now have AI agents running in production. And let me be clear, we're not talking about some simple little chatbot. No, these are agents taking an active part in core business workflows. The train has definitely left the station, and it is flying down the tracks.
But here's where things get kind of scary. While over half of all companies are deploying these agents, only 21%, just 21%, have mature governance in place to manage them. That's not a small gap, my friends. That is a chasm, and it's getting wider by the day.
So you have to ask, right? What happens in that gap? That massive space between rushing to deploy and lagging way behind on control? This is where the real risk, and frankly, the true opportunity for businesses lies today. And it's exactly what we're going to break down right now.
Okay, so this whole situation leads us to something, well, something weird. It's what people are calling AI's productivity paradox. We've all heard the promises, right? AI is going to revolutionize efficiency, unlock unbelievable growth. But when you actually look at the hard numbers, the story is, let's just say, it's pretty underwhelming.
I mean, just look at these numbers. They tell a fascinating story. Despite this absolute explosion in AI tools, labor productivity across the OECD was basically flat. It actually went down in the euro area. Now, the US saw a little bit of growth, but it's nowhere near the revolution we were all sold. So what gives?
And wow, this quote just nails it. Think about that for a second. 60% of the workforce is using AI, and yet productivity barely budged. That huge gulf between doing AI and actually getting results from AI, that is the control problem in a nutshell. It's not about having AI, it's about making it work safely and effectively when you scale it up.
So let's put a name to this thing. What is this hidden risk? Look, the problem isn't that the AI models are bad. Not at all. The problem is we've made this gigantic leap, right? We've gone from AI that assists you to AI that acts for you, and we did it without building the right guardrails. The fallout from a mistake now, it's on a whole other level.
Okay, this chart right here, you really need to get this. It is so important. In what they call co-pilot mode, where AI is your assistant, an error like a bad summary is just a productivity loss. Annoying, but manageable. But then you look at agentic mode. This is where the AI is in the driver's seat. A bad move here isn't just a little oops. It can mean serious legal trouble or actually hurting customers. An unaudited decision can blow up into a massive regulatory fine. The blast radius for one tiny error, it just explodes.
And this gets to the heart of it. The whole strategic conversation has changed. It's not about asking which is the smartest model anymore. The real grown-up question is, what operating model do we need to run these agents safely? It's about risk, not just cool features. And honestly, a lot of organizations haven't even noticed this shift has happened.
So how in the world do we fix this? Well, we need a new way of thinking about it, a new mental model. We need a clear blueprint that lays out all the different functions of an enterprise AI system. So let's walk through this really powerful three-layer framework.
And it's actually pretty simple when you see it laid out. First up, you've got the cognitive layer. That's the brains of the operation, the models doing all the thinking. Second, you have the execution layer. Think of these as the hands, the tools and APIs that actually go out and do stuff in the world. And third, and this is the most important and most overlooked part, is the control layer. This is your governance, your policies, your audit trail.
And here's the kicker. Where you invest your money across these three layers totally determines your outcome. Most companies are stuck in pilot mode. They pour cash into the cool cognitive brain and get flashy demos that, guess what, never scale. Others try to slap governance on at the end as a bolt-on. That's always slow, it's fragile, and it's full of audit gaps. The only way to actually succeed is the process-native approach, where that control layer is treated as critical infrastructure right from day one.
Okay, that sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? How do you become process native? Let's get practical and move from the big idea to the actionable solution for every leader out there.
All right, here is the 5-step playbook. 1. Stop chasing random shiny use cases. Instead, map AI to your core business processes that have clear owners. 2. Define exactly what an AI agent is and is not allowed to do. We'll dig into that in a second. 3, and this one is huge.
Build systems to catch and learn from failures before you even think about scaling up. 4. Treat governance like real infrastructure, not a checklist. Fund it just like you fund your cloud services. And finally, 5. Change the conversation in the boardroom. You go from asking, how many pilots do we have, to what's our auditable success rate?
Now let's just zoom in on that second step, defining autonomy tiers. This is a perfect example of what practical governance looks like. You create a clear ladder of permissions. A Tier 0 agent can only suggest things. A human always decides and acts. At Tier 1, it can maybe prepare an action, but a human has to hit the approve button. It's only when you get to the higher tiers with rock-solid controls and testing that you let the agent act more on its own. This isn't some vague, fuzzy idea. This is engineering.
So when you pull all of this together, the risk, the framework, the solution, it all boils down to one single transformative question that every leader needs to be asking their teams right now.
This right here is the new acid test. Asking, are we using AI? That's a 2024 question. The 2026 question, the one that really matters, is all about proof and control. Because if you can't rewind the tape and prove that an autonomous agent acted correctly, you don't have an AI strategy. You have a ticking time bomb.
And that brings us to the ultimate bottom line. It's a stark but pretty simple reality for every single business today. If your governance, your control layer can't answer that question about what happened last Tuesday, then all that powerful, expensive AI, your cognitive layer, it's not an asset, it's a liability, just waiting to create your next crisis.